We're going to go ahead and get started for today's AMA. Super excited. We have both Workhorse and Pinecone here today, so super stoked for that. We do not have Dreamer joining us today. He had some IRL things he needed to take care of, so he is sitting this one out, but he'll be back next week. But super excited to have a new face, although you've done an AMA with us before, as well as a face that we just don't get to see as often. So thanks for being here. With that, we are going to jump into some updates first. And the first update that I want to talk about is this thing called Warrior. And what is it good for? So I'll pass over to Beetle Dude, Workhorse, Magnus, whoever wants to comment first on the patch that we put out last night.
Well, you said my name first, so I'm just gonna go first. Yeah, hopefully people are excited about Warrior. Seems like my announcement yesterday killed Discord, so apologies there. But I'm hoping everybody was out playing and destroying boars with their warriors and not reading my patch notes. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna say that's what happened. But yeah, it seems to be successful. Everyone's enjoying it. I think we even satisfied Sachet to an extent, and even though he feels like he's a boar killing machine, but I'd like to see him win with 3 priests. Show it to me, Sachet.
I'll jump in because you made me laugh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I hope everyone's having fun too. Warrior was a lot of fun to redesign. There's a lot of changes. So if you guys haven't gone through the patch notes, now is the time, because it's not like a different class or anything, but it's definitely, there's a lot of refinement. As we do more of this and as we release more classes, the more we learn and just our process just evolves, and so that's going to be reflected every time a class's codex activates in PvE. And I think this is a really good example of how much could change. But the changes I thought were particularly dope because those 3 disciplines feel very distinct. I really hope people are enjoying the tanky warrior mode, but DPS warrior mode is pretty good. And I'm also hoping if somebody send me a replay of using Bloodthirst path, because that's the one that I enjoy the most. And if anyone can figure out how to make that one busted, I would like to know. Not for balancing purposes, for personal purposes. To choose.
That'll be the one that doesn't get fixed right away.
I don't know. I don't know if it's strong enough, but we'll see what the numbers tell us. But yeah, thanks everyone for playing lots of games. It was really fun to see it come out, and yeah, kudos to everybody on the team. It's a crisp class. I'm excited for each iteration moving forward.
Hells yeah. And also say, I guess to short run the wins that are sure to come for next class. The next one has quite a bit more mechanics, different mechanics that don't yet exist that will make things more interesting and exciting, including some UI updates. So it might be a little bit longer than Warrior. So I just want to, I guess, preface that. But yeah, we're gonna keep plugging away, not stopping. Never stopping.
Good movie. Yeah, no, super excited about that patch. And I said something in our Slack, but I'll say it here too. It's really cool because it's not just swapping people out within the same strategy. Like playing with a warrior has its own strategy and it's completely different. And I really enjoyed playing with warrior last night. And won a couple fights with them, and yeah, I just it feels really good. So super proud of everybody. That's amazing. Cannot give all of you enough credit for that. Magnus, anything you want to add, or anybody else, I guess, for that matter? If anybody wants to chime in, feel free.
Yeah, just really cool to see this launched. I do really appreciate kind of extra replayability this brings. Like you mentioned, it's kind of like shaking up my teams personally. And I was hoping the knight and I could basically just swap out the knight for the warrior and it would work. But like Beetle's experience, it's shaping up a little differently for me. So yeah, just really enjoying the kind of like change in strategy for this. So really stoked.
Awesome. That is fantastic. Moving into some other updates, let's go over to Pinecone.
Yeah, so hello everyone. It's been a while. I have update on some which would make life easier for people wanting to start a node. We realized it's rather cumbersome to download all the stuff from the blockchain. It takes too long, so we made a system for distributing snapshots of the DFK chain via torrents. Both statesync and archival nodes, and we will update those as time progresses. So I made this with Magnus and Fox, and we've had some help from Born to Die and Celis in the community. So thanks for that. And we're also looking for a few more beta testers before we launch this. So if you want to help out and seed some torrents, please just send me a DM on Discord and I'll give you a torrent file. Yeah. The state sync is about 150 to 200 gigabytes, so you need that space available. And the archival ones is well over 3 terabytes at this stage, so it takes quite a bit of space. There's no allow list needed, so it's totally permissionless. So when you get the torrent file, you can just distribute it as you see fit. Let's see if I have any more talking points on my list here. Yeah, it's a nice way for community members to support the chain just by seeding it and making it more available for other people that wants to start a node. So we're hoping like we get a little swarm of people seeding these going forward, so it's easier for other people to start a node if they want to. Thank you.
We've gone from torrenting music to torrenting DFK Chain. I like it. Yeah, no, super excited for that as well. And like Pinecone said, anybody that's interested in helping out, let us know. Let's see. And then we have an update from Sunbear.
Thanks, full on. Hey, everybody. Yeah, just quick update. Some cool things are happening with our Klaytn partner. Really focusing with our marketing teams as they make a big push into. Well, they've got a lot of things happening that I can't quite talk about. That'll be we talked about soon, I think, on their end. But a big push into Japan, especially, and also the Philippines. So excited about some of the marketing efforts there. I believe there's a question about games or different groups that popped up that we're working with. I'm really excited the next few weeks to announce some campaigns that have been in the making for the last little while. Some that kind of started out of some of our contacts in Singapore when we were there for Token that I think our community is going to be really excited about. So things to come there. Other pieces connected to Klaytn. One of our partners that we'll be announcing next week is almost ready to launch an on-ramp on Klaytn that will be global, which should help that space quite a bit, I believe. So super excited about that coming in the next couple weeks. And then just a quick shout out to our marketing committee, who's been doing a little side project with Kingdom Studios YouTube channel, doing what we call blockchain basics. If you haven't seen that, we're trying to do some basic education out there, quick little video snippets from the team to educate people on Web3 and how that relates to gaming. So check it out and use it to teach all your friends and family that don't quite get it yet. Those are my updates. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to jump in with a couple quick updates myself because I remembered that I had updates. So first thing is next Monday, Frisky Fox will be on with Christian Peter. That will be at 9 p.m. Pacific next Monday. You can expect to see a couple other of our folks in the coming weeks, and we'll announce those as they happen. But for next Monday, if anybody is available to tune in, check out Frisky Fox with Christian. Outside of that, I was also going to mention we are considering, so on the kind of marketing front, we've been talking about ways to, make sure that we're getting our name out there and potentially expand our reach a little bit. There is a question on marketing, which I'll take later, but one thing that we've been talking about a little bit lately, especially that Workhorse made a really good point about, is we may try and move our AMAs into a space, Twitter space, X space, I don't know, space, SpaceX. We might try to do a couple of AMAs that way, and kind of see how they go, see if it can help spread our exposure and our reach. So stay tuned for that. I will not say for sure that it's happening next week, but it is possible. But we'll make sure that everybody knows where to find us, of course. And then we're also figuring out how we want to handle, AMA voiceless chat, which is always a lot of fun during these. We very well may keep that here. And that way we're, doing the AMA on the space, but we're encouraging people to come to our Discord to participate in the live conversation, because we really enjoy the live conversation and we don't want that to stop. And that's a little bit trickier on Twitter X. So Twix. I got it. But anyway, yeah, so stay tuned for that. There'll be more information to come. We don't want to catch anybody off guard, but we did want to go ahead and mention that is something we're looking at trying. So just something to be aware of. And let's see. Next up is our final update, I believe, from Frisky Fox.
Sweet. Hey guys, how's my mic?
Sounding good.
Okay, good. Yes. So first of all, I'm super stoked that we had Workhorse up here on stage. He's been involved with a lot of things, and he's a really great guy, and so I'm really stoked about that. Just want to say a little welcome to him. And then also Pinecone. He's just amazing. There's been so much that has been released with hunts recently. And I don't think a lot of people realize, but in order to make that happen and work, there's been a lot of work on the API side. And a lot of times those things are just sort of it's there and it works and you don't think about it. And that's sort of the lot in life that we have here on the backend dev blockchain side of things, where if everything is working how it's supposed to be, you don't actually think about it. And that's the whole idea. But I just want to call out and say he's been amazing, and just all of the stuff that has been created and basically built from the ground up to support hunts and also equipment and all that. There's been a ton, and executors. So huge shout out to him. Thank you, Pinecone, for everything. And if any of you guys have a chance to reach out to him, feel free to do so and just let him know that you appreciate that too, because I know I sure do. But yeah, I've been working on duels, as you guys know, and I'm sorry it's sort of later and later, but there's just so much we've been trying to pack into it. And I might actually share a little bit of a alpha screenshot or something that Second Best Dad and I think Inkmouth, who is another one of our cool artists, worked on. Maybe this one was just Second Best Dad. Shoot, correct me if I'm wrong, Second Best Dad, but I'll just drop it right now while I'm talking about it. Here you go. Here's a screenshot. I'm pretty sure this was a joint effort between
While you
them.
drop it, who are our uncool artists?
The uncool ones? Oh, we don't talk about them. No, I don't think we have any uncool artists. But yeah, these are some of the cool equipment that are going to be specifically related to duels. And we had some talks about this internally about, what is the scope of equipment? How does it fit into our game? Will it always just be for combat? Is there other equipment that might impact other parts of our game? Even just having some slots that are purely cosmetic, so there's always all kinds of ideas there. You know, like we have like the birthday hats as well and stuff like that. So it's just a very like very open-ended and very like versatile new thing we've added. So I was like, hey, let's build some equipment just for duels, and that's kind of what these are. It's not meant to impact other parts of combat, but it will give you some really cool bonuses during duels, and you can earn them during duels as well. So I'm stoked about that. There's been a lot of work into that. There's also a third one that isn't shown here. That is a really cool one that you'll see after it launches. But I think it'll be fun for players to, you know, like really try and grind and earn those and then use those in duels. There's been a lot of testing around that and still more. And there's also some really cool things we've added with like leaderboards, like for champion mode and things like that, to sort of show off that more. So we're still hard at work on it. It's in a lot of testing right now, and there's still things I'm iterating on. So I just want to give an update there and say it's close, and I'm stoked about it. Thanks.
For sure. We are as well. Also, I don't know if y'all caught that. He said there's a third one that you'll see after it launches, but you listen close, you might let it slip. You know Fox is the dropper of alpha, so you never know what you'll get. All right. Last call for updates before I move into questions. I think I got everybody, but just in case. All right. Moving into some questions. One quick note from me. If you've posted a question in the AMA questions channel and you notice that it gets pinned, that will be my compendium of Hubert questions for when he returns. So if your question gets pinned but doesn't get answered, that's why. It is a Hubert question who will be missing the next couple AMAs. So I'm creating a log for those so that we have them somewhere. But outside of that, going into the first question is a Beetle Dude question. Thoughts on having a refresh icon in the active quests window so that you don't have to refresh the page?
For sure. So we talked about this a little bit. Most of the time, your quest should refresh as needed. But I understand there's probably some things here or there that might slip through the cracks. So it's definitely something we can look at. We also, with the most recent zipper RPC optimizations, we are also trying to keep our calls down as much as possible. So might need to be maybe a refresh with a little timeout on it. So yeah, we can take a look at that and see what would make the most sense and slap it on the list.
Nice. I do love the list. Speaking of the list, another Beetle Dude question. Thoughts on an option to toggle off the acknowledgement pop-ups, so like the little black pop-ups that say, you know, transaction completed or whatever they say for that particular thing. For example, when crafting stones or making trades, that kind of thing. This question, I think, is primarily motivated by MetaMask Mobile, where sometimes that pop-up covers all of the functional buttons, and you just kind of have to sit and wait or refresh.
Yep, that makes sense for mobile, definitely. So I think probably the first step would be to review on mobile, see if there's a way that we can make that a little bit more optimized. But yeah, I don't see a reason why we couldn't also add something in the player preferences for that. The screen is going to look so empty without those confirmations. It'll be great for mobile users. But yeah, I think we can again add that to the list and take a look. Sorry, that's going to be my answer for all of these questions.
Hey, we all know and love your list. It's okay. Let's see. Fishing mini games. Love boar hunts, something that's been on my mind. Have we ever thought of doing a fishing or foraging mini game? I'll say from my perspective and then turn it over to anybody else who wants to add. I think that'd be super fun for like a third party game. As far as for us, it's something that I think would be super fun, and I would like it. But at the same time, if we stop to build a fishing mini game, then we're not building something else like combat. So probably not. At the very least, not in the near future. But Beetle Dude, Magnus, Fox, Pinecone, Workhorse, Sunbear. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I mean, we're going to be busy building Kickbox, so we probably don't have time for other mini games.
That is true. The mini game of the future.
Just kidding. Don't record this.
That was some alpha.
Yeah, that's right. Kickbox coming soon. Yeah, I think to Bolon's point. To Bolon's point, we are, we're focused on other things at this point. I think there's more layers to what we are building that we'd like to get in, probably before we start thinking about building other games, even miniature ones, since those also require time and effort. But yeah, I think it's a cute idea. It's my everything turns into Stardew Valley eventually theory paying off again.
It definitely is. Let's see. In the future, is the Void Shard something like a badge that we would need to get in to access different content, or is it something that will be spent/burned in order to use?
Oh, took me a second. They will be burnt or used. That's a pretty easy answer to that question. When they are used, they will be burnt.
Thank you, sir. Let's see. The current profession limits, or the current profession queue limits, make it tricky when you have enough heroes. Any info on how expeditions will allow for more efficient questing for those with a lot of heroes? Magnus, thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we're still making some decisions around queue limits and whatnot. But I will say, in terms of just the technology and what will happen there, the way expeditions is going to work, it's basically going to like have every quest start right after the next one, just like as close as you can possibly get. So it'd be the same as if you had a way to just start something right, like the next block after something finished. And so it's going to be about as efficient as it can possibly get on the kind of like way it's going to be orchestrated and the way quests are going to be lined up to be executed. And so there will definitely be some efficiency gains for the average player who is used to maybe using the UI and questing that way. So and then we'll have some TBD announcements in terms of the different like limits and things like that, because those may adjust. No promises there though.
Thank you, Magnus. Yeah, it'll definitely make life easier. I'm looking forward to it as a bad hero owner myself. It'll be a very, very useful thing for me because I'm not good at managing my heroes properly. Let's see. We're gonna throw this one at Beetle Dude again. It's Beetle Dude hour today. Thoughts on putting bridge heroes and bridge pets back into the hamburger menu?
Bring Hubert back. Hubert, I need you. That I'll just say that it wasn't my decision to remove them. It's possible. I think we probably just need to take a look at that menu in general, and see what we want to use it for. Maybe if we just have it include all the most common actions or something along those lines, or kind of separate those things out. I think probably a good first step would be just making it more efficient in general. And yeah, I get it. It is a little quicker to do 2 clicks than it is to click into the quick select stuff. So I think it's something we need to look at. Sachet, it was not my decision, but I guess technically I did deploy it. So regardless of what happened, I am responsible. So yeah, that I guess it might be a little bit of a larger conversation, but not too much larger. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it's a good place to plug your quick select menu there too. You know, if you saw that they were gone and have started going to the docks, don't forget you can click the 4 squares at the top and just go to bridging. Like there is a quick select menu there. Use it. I recommend it. Workhorse, I saw you on mute. Do you have something you wanted to add?
I just wanted to support my boy Beetle Dude and let him know that I was laughing at all of his jokes thus far. But since we're closed mic, no one can hear the giggles. But there are giggles over here.
Thank you. We need one of those little emojis from Google Meets. So you
Let's
can
see
know
if
how
we
much I'm landing.
if we do it on Spaces, they do have them. You can do little reacts and they pop up on your PFP, so you can see everybody laughing at your jokes, or not. So it's a double edged.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. maybe better to leave it out.
Let's see. Another Beetlejuice question. So in one of our recent AMAs, there's a question about hero sales. Is hero sales history in the game on the short list at the moment?
It is not on the short list at the moment. It is on the list, just not on the short list. So yeah, we have a few other priorities at the moment. So I think that'll probably take a back seat right at this minute. But it is something that we would like to add. So I know you probably know on the other resources. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah.
yeah. There are some options in the castle, but also right here in Discord. So the question did reference that channel, and I appreciate that. But yeah, for anybody who's not aware, we do have the Heroes Sales channel in Discord as well. There was a second part of that question. Sorry, I almost missed it. Of potentially also having like a hero rentals history when that time comes.
That seems reasonable. It might have been something that we've had in the past also. So
Nice.
Pinecone might know. If it exists in the API, then yes, that would be possible.
It's there, so it should be easily possible to add it at some stage.
Thanks, Pinecone.
Nice. So on the list. Thoughts on having an equipment comparison in the game to where you could hover, for example, an item and it would show you what your current item is and what the item that you are looking at equipping is.
Yeah. So I guess there's still sections of our equipment document that have yet to be implemented, and that is one of them. Essentially, contextual stats is, I think, what we're calling them or referring to them as. But that would be one that would fall under, I guess, contextual of comparison. Hasn't been as necessary because currently you're mostly switching out default weapons. But I think as we continue to get more equipment, we'll want to make sure that that's something people can easily tell at a glance. So, yep.
Most definitely. Appreciate it, sir. Thoughts on cross-game partnerships with other GameFi projects? Could be in-game challenges for both games or something to support the project's exposure. Yes. The thoughts are yes. That's it. End of story. No, that is definitely something that we're interested and open to. Something that we're actually talking to some potential folks currently about, which is all I can say for right now. But Sunbear will come over and smack me if I try to say too much. But definitely something that we want to do and are very open to and are currently working towards with a couple of examples. So stay tuned for more. Sunbear, anything you want to add on that front?
I'm just over here laughing with Workhorse. Yeah. It's hard not to say it because there's been some really cool brainstorming and there's some really creative artists and there's going to be some neat DFK themed characters that might pop into some other games. So yeah, really looking forward to being able to talk more about that.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be fun when the time comes. Let's see. Simple question. Please tell me why you had to go and make the game all fun to play again.
It was an accident, Bolon.
Needed to make the same joke, Beetle. Oh gosh.
You can still do it too. I'll allow
It was an accident, guys.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, we
Get
apologize for making it fun. It's not our intention. Glad you're enjoying void hunts. We're very excited for them and for the future of what will be coming. Let's see. So, a question that I guess I'm going to kind of start off, but anybody is also welcome to chime in as well. Thoughts on having an official marketing representative and or just general like marketing. Like I said, I'll kind of kick off, but anybody is welcome to chime in here. We've talked about this a little bit before, but it all just comes down to priorities and budget. We have a runway to be able to keep surviving, and that's our first and foremost focus is making sure that the project is alive and around for many, many, many years to come. If we look at hiring like a CMO, a chief marketing officer, for example, that's something that's just going to directly eat into our runway. That said, it's not something that we are trying to completely ignore either. I do think that you will start to see some more stuff on that front. We're looking at potentially working with a couple people that are, offering to lend some advice and expertise. Obviously, now we also have Workhorse on the team who has a lot of experience and expertise himself as well. So I think this is something that you will see continue to evolve. That said, as far as like hiring a dedicated marketing representative, I don't think that is something that we will likely look to do in the short term just because of the impacts to Treasury. But it is something that we are paying attention to and working on, especially now as there's some additional movement in the crypto sphere. We want to make sure that we capitalize on that and aren't left out of it. Even little stuff like what I mentioned at the beginning of potentially moving our AMAs over to spaces. That's a way that we can try to reach more people rather than the people who love you guys. Don't take this the wrong way. The people who are already here in our Discord, the goal is to get in front of new people and more people and bring them in as well. It's definitely something that we are working on, and I think you'll continue to see movement on that front. But a $10,000 campaign or something like that, you're not going to see that right now if we're just being realistic. The last thing I'll say, and then I'll open it for anybody that wants to add to it. Excuse me. It did mention the clarification in the last AMA from Dreamer talking about centralized exchanges and kind of our concerns there and where we're at right now. If you have not listened to it, listen to Dreamer's stream with Christian Peter this previous Monday, where he also kind of went a little more in depth on that front and talked about some of the options and considerations there. So I highly recommend listening to that if you have not. There is also a question in AMA questions about that, and I was going to have Dreamer talk about it, but he had to miss this AMA, he is going to respond to that in text a little later today when he has some time, and then we'll touch on it live next week as well. But I just wanted to address that. We're not ignoring that part either. But yeah, that's kind of my overview of where we stand right now. If anybody else would like to chime in, please do feel free.
That's my cue. Yeah, I think this is a great question. And it's a thing that we talk about a lot actually internally. When it comes to marketing, you have to consider a lot of things, like what are you marketing? Who is your target audience for those? And all those things put together make a successful campaign. So if you don't have something that's really the market, then you can spend a lot of money, not get a lot of return on it, basically. So that's why right now we're trying to really focus on building a really fun experience and also a really cool product, which I think we have, and just improving it as we go. But also, how do you transform those that see the ad or that hear about the opportunity into actual players, into actual users? And so that is where a lot of the efforts in like lowering the barrier to entry start to come in. So obviously, like we've been working really hard with Halliday on that front and with a few others as well. But that's the important thing right now is we're trying to get into a really good position where we'll get a lot more bang for our buck with any of the future like marketing campaigns that we do, because we just are in a really good spot to actually bring in new users and have them stay active. So that's really the focus right now, is trying to basically build the foundation for that. And then once it's there, you can scale that up almost infinitely, because the ROI is actually like very, very positive. And so that's what we're trying to do at this moment. So I just wanted to add my thoughts there as well. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And just to add a hair to that real quick, we kind of have we have one product, but we have two different things to market. We have the DeFi aspect, because obviously we are a full DeFi protocol, and then we also have the game aspect. And in marketing, like timing is so important in marketing, to make sure where you are aiming your marketing is ready to receive your marketing, and that you are ready to receive the people that come from it, as Fox was saying. And so that's where, especially as things keep developing, as new features come out, all of those open new marketing opportunities for us as well. And that is something that we are kind of always talking about as new stuff comes out, is okay, not only how do we market this, who do we want to market it to, and what audience can we go and try to capture with this particular feature. So yeah, I know there's some vagueness there. You will see some stuff happening. I just can't talk about it yet. But yeah, really appreciate the question. And if there are follow-ups to that, obviously you know where to find us. Please let us know. But for now, changing gears entirely. Question about the party hats. Will there be future releases of more conical caps of remembrance? If so, will they be the same item, or would future, potential party hats have different appearance or something like that to ensure that they stay unique?
I don't think SPD would let us release another party hat that was the same party hat. That being said, we do have a year-ish before our next one. But I imagine we'll differentiate it somehow, or maybe think of something else. The party hats were cool and it was fun. There are a lot of them, but so we might mix it up, or we might do something different. But I doubt we'll do the same exact thing, if I was being honest.
Appreciate you. This next one is probably mostly a Hubert question, but I have a thought on it, and then if anybody else does, that's fine as well. I did also pin it to add it to Hubert's list. But how do you aim to reduce egg inflation? That is something that we've talked about, and I think we're pretty careful about what we look at doing, because we don't want to change too much and go too disruptive. But even in terms of like eggs are no longer a rank reward in duels. There's a reason for that. Different stuff like that. I think even when we were looking at the Raffle Master revamp, we were tuning them down in there as well, if I remember right, which that is still on the table. We just got to get some of the voting stuff fixed up before we can do that vote to make sure everybody can participate. But yeah, so obviously we don't want to go incredibly economically disruptive, but we are looking at some of the places that they're going out and adjusting how we can handle that. Anybody have anything they want to add to that? Like I said, I did pin it for Hubert, who's probably the best person for it. All right.
My temptation to come in with a Hubert impression is incredible, but
Please
I won't
do
it.
I won't do it.
I'm not a part of the eggflation committee, so I can't do it.
I just want to hear the Hubert impression. I don't even care what you say.
There it is.
Will the skins from the Dark Summoning event be available for purchase eventually in a cosmetic shop?
So I think we've been pretty firm, and we'll probably continue to be pretty firm about not editing any genetic traits with cosmetics. But I think that that's just based on my understanding of how we've wanted to handle it before. So in general, I would guess that skin color specifically will just be either event based or obviously genetic based occurrence rather than any kind of addition you can make later.
As a reminder for anybody who hasn't been paying attention, I guess. So from the Dark Summoning event, you get heroes with blue and green skin, but those are actually in their genetics. So if you Dark Summoned heroes with blue or green skin who have summons remaining, there is the chance of passing those on. That is like their dominant gene in that slot. So it's not that they can't be acquired, but it's through the normal genetic system instead. Let's see. I think we've probably got some work to do on this front anyway. But thoughts on... so right now, if you look at your equipment and you click it, you get the little pop-up that tells you about the equipment. The question was thoughts on putting the equipment image in that description as well, so that it's in that box. I hope I described that in a way that was even remotely understandable. There's pictures. If not, I can tag you.
I think I understand. I think it was modeled after some other games tooltips that are similar to an extent, but I don't see a reason why we couldn't do it. But we'll have to talk to our art people, our important art people. Zip called him out. It sounds like it was a choice.
And it's all Second Best Dad's fault. You heard it here first. Actually, you heard it here second after Zip said it. Let's see. That's definitely going to be a Hubert one. Thoughts on having an equipment with jazz gloves, and upon attack, there's an X% chance to daze all enemies and all allies for X number of turns with your jazz hands.
I actually pitched this one. It was vetoed because we decided that there's really no way you can make it not OP. So it would imbalance the game pretty much. So we had to not do it. It's unfortunate, really, but it is what it is.
Workhorse, I approve your recommendation for jazz hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna veto the veto. I have that power now. I've decided. Okay, fine. Can one of the heroes just have like a jazz hand dance or something? Come on, we gotta get a shout out to Winston in there. Let's see. Beetle Dude, thoughts on a RIP filter? Filtering to only view dead heroes, I would assume, in the catalog, because I don't know where else you would view them.
That is disturbing. I don't know why you would want that. Just kidding. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, do it. Add it to the list. Did you add it to the list, Paul?
I'm adding it to the list.
Perfect.
The second part of this question is a Hubert question, so I'm going to add that to that list. Dang it, this one's a Dreamer question. All right, I'm pinning messages for Dreamer questions too. Let's see. Actually, that one is both Hubert and Dreamer, depending on the part of the question. All right, either way, is hero tagging on the radar currently?
If you mean is it on the list, then yes. Is it going to be getting priority soon? Less likely, I would say.
Nice. Makes sense. That's a better Dreamer question, so I'm gonna hold that one for him for next week. Any update, Magnus, on Supra and going live on DFK Chain?
Yeah, we may have answered this previous weeks, but I'll go ahead and address it again. Yeah, so Supra has done their part and integrated DFK Chain, and it falls to us to implement that now. And of course, like we're busy with combat related things, but it is on my list to implement at some point.
Is it live? Like if somebody else wanted to do something with it, is it available for them already?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can drop a link to the Super Docs, but they have all that available. Is the V2 VRF implementation. That's the only one they have on DFK Chain. But yeah, if anybody wants to use it in a game or any other contract on DFK Chain, it is available. Yeah, and then the no restrictions there. It's just the ever growing list. It's part of that, but we haven't quite gotten to it just yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you, Magnus. Is the rune bonus on pets specific to Shvas runes? It is not. It applies to all runes. Just answer that one real quick, because that one's easy. Let's see. I'm going to try to snag one more, and then we will wrap up for the day. Sorry, we were bashing daylight savings and AMA questions, and that's not a question. It's just a fact that no one likes it. That's a Hubert question, of course. Dang it. Here we go. Nope. There's a question about offers, but we answered that last week. Where are we going here? Here we go. This one is kind of a Hubert one, but it's also a fun one, and I'm curious of what other people's thoughts on it are. So in the future, when we have in-game guilds and they are set up and running, thoughts on having like headbands or banners or flags, something that the guild could actually create their own, and then their guild members could, fly their flag or wear their headband.
I think that would be amazing. Of course, we have to think about the TTP involved with that. But there's all kinds of things I want to do with guilds, and I'd like to have it be something that integrates more with like the decentralized nature of our game, such that perhaps in order to have a guild, you might need to own land, or you might need to run like a validator or something. I think there's all kinds of opportunities we could do there, and to really like reward those guilds as well, and have the guilds be an active participant in like actually like running the game. I think that'd be awesome.
I love that, but TTP will definitely be an issue.
Could you
For sure.
define TTP, one of you?
No, I can't. I can't do that.
Okay. I asked. I did my job. Yes. Yes for the TPS report reference. Oh, that makes me happy. Fox, do you want to define TTP?
No, but you should go watch more shows on like Apple TV or something.
Yeah. I'm not touching that. It would definitely be problematic. Oh man, too many good references. This is a good way to end the AMA. I'm happy that we're calling it a day here, and at this point, we have to call it a day here because I can't take this seriously anymore. So we will take a minute if anybody has any last thoughts. I am faced with a horrible choice of picking either Pinecone or Workhorse to bullish us. Pinecone just has such a great bullish, but this is Workhorse's first AMA, so I think we have to make him do it, and then we're just going to compare him forever to Pinecone's bullish and see who wins. So prior to going over to Workhorse for the bullish, I'll just say, as always, thank you everyone for being here, participating in the AMA. We really appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for updates on if it will be in Discord or Twitter next week. We'll make sure everybody knows where we are. And outside of that, aside from Workhorse, anybody have any final thoughts they want to add? Oh, don't ape into Broken Mechanics. That one. Anybody else?
Just say look forward to the new chef class coming out soon.
Fox, Magnus, Pinecone, anything you want to say?
Why are you laughing?
Because I'm just that excited for Chef.
All allowed.
All right. Doesn't sound like there's any other last comments. So Workhorse, the floor is yours.
I'm in a public space, so I can't be loud, but bullish.
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 So
That was
fancy.
amazing.
That was excellent.
Nice.
See y'all next week.